getting ready to happen. They never had that much paper towels and toilet paper. I'm in Costco in Cherry Hill. They stocked to the ceiling. I better get y'all water. They never been stocked up like this.
Hey guys, Pedro V here. Now, everyone is talking about this cyber pandemic, and some got to say, what is a cyber pandemic? Well, the World Economic Forum is also talking about a cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics. Very, very interesting. Before the whole pandemic, there was also simulations, things put into predictive programming with Bill Gates, with the World Economic Forum, with much more being put out there before the actual event took place.
What would you do if they brought the power grid down? And by they, I mean if the government purposefully brought the power grid down. And I'm not asking that question for fun. I'm asking that question because the World Economic Forum is predicting that a cyber pandemic, you can look this up, they've been running exercises about it this year, is inevitable. You're probably saying, what is a cyber pandemic? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are we even talking about? Well, first and foremost, the reason I'm even paying attention to the World Economic Forum and their exercises is because they notoriously, in 2019, ran an exercise for a coronavirus pandemic that oddly all became true. I mean, without one slight difference. They said that the coronavirus was going to escape from a wet market in South America. Of course, when the coronavirus swept the world in 2020, they said that it escaped from a wet market in China. You can still look that up, by the way. That's not a conspiracy theory. They simulated that coronavirus pandemic. It was the World Economic Forum in collaboration with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University. And the website is still up, and they say, the coronavirus pandemic is inevitable. And then, boom, it happened the very next year. So people say it's a conspiracy theory to believe that they knew that the coronavirus pandemic was going to happen. You don't have to believe it was a conspiracy theory, or you can believe it wasn't a conspiracy theory. It's up to you. I don't really care. The point is that they made the prediction, they called it inevitable, and then it happened immediately. So for me personally, that signals to me that I should probably pay attention the next time the World Economic Forum makes a prediction and calls it inevitable. And lo and behold, they are predicting that a coronavirus pandemic, a cyber pandemic, is going to happen, and that it is once again inevitable. So if you look into the exercise that they have run this year, I believe they ran it in July. They've been meeting and talking about the cyber pandemic, what it would look like. Essentially, their idea is that they're going to have to sanitize the internet because a bug, think of this as like a coronavirus for your computer, is going to sweep globally, and the only way they're going to be able to stop this bug from infecting everything is to effectively shut down the internet, right? And they were talking about bringing down the power grid in an effort to do this. So imagine the government bringing down the power grid, and you would not have access to anything that required an electrical charge.
Now, this is the same thing. This is happening, and we must prepare. How do you prepare for this? Sticking to your faith, the Word of God, and knowing what is true and what isn't, because there's a lot of information being put out there. There's a war on information. And in this video, I'm also going to put some clips together, videos that I put in the past, so you guys have a better idea as well, so you can see the programming with everything being brought together. And so we can all put it together and see the bigger picture, because things are getting very strange, but not so strange to some, because we are very familiar with their pattern, the pattern of how they put things out there and when it takes place. Okay? So let us be aware of what's taking place. Let us be caution. Alright? Now, with that all being said, have faith, remain vigilant, and God bless you all.
And it's an artificial closing. It's not like we have a massive recession or worse. It's artificial because we turned it off. Think of what we're doing.
Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off.
Let me begin by saying that, once again, full faith and support for America's intelligence agencies. I have a full faith in our intelligence agencies. Whoops, they just turned off the light. That must be the intelligence agencies. There it goes. Okay. You guys okay? Good. That was strange, but that's okay. We must recognize that the internet has provided a dangerous avenue to radicalize, disturb minds, and perform demented acts. Winning the race to be the world's leading provider of 5G.
New 5G towers. They're the next wave of wireless technology.
We're going to have a red wave. So what they call it. Right?
U.S. wireless carriers are aggressively expanding their 5G networks, but there are still no studies about how safe the technology really is.
If you had a different administration with different people, what we've done would have taken, in my opinion, 3, 4, 5 years, and it would have been in the FDA forever.
Some residents fought long and hard to slow the spread of wireless antennas in their neighborhoods. The city finally released a new wireless ordinance that steers 5G cell towers away from residential areas and bans them within 600 feet of schools. For everyone else, it's 20 feet, including homes for seniors.
People have been claiming new cell phone technology called 5G is a threat to our health. Now, posts on social media connect 5G to the outbreak of the coronavirus.
And how these towers can be built near your property without your permission.
And you have them going, in some cases, from hotspot to hotspot. If you notice, they're usually hotspot to hotspot.
Made a map overlaying the new 5G towers with the COVID-19 cases, then claims how it's weird the towers are right by the hotspots.
This is 5 times faster than the fastest prior vaccine development in history. 5 times faster. Say it again, 5 times faster.
They are not doing the health studies. We want them to stop it and slow these things down until they do the proper health studies to know that this is safe.
I had no idea that that's exactly where the towers were going to go. I just thought it was announcing in the hearing to talk about it.
So it's the first that we had heard of it. No one had informed any of the residents. No one had informed the homeowners association.
According to the American Cancer Society, there is no strong evidence that radio frequency waves from cell towers cause any noticeable health effects. But it says more research is needed, especially for any possible long-term effects.
It's just a giant experiment on the entire population.
Joel Moskowitz with the UC Berkeley School of Public Health says hundreds of peer-reviewed studies from 41 countries have found exposure to radio frequency emissions from macro towers like the one on top of Channing House can have serious health impacts.
Headaches, what people describe as brain fog, memory and confusion, skin conditions, heart palpitations, a whole range of symptoms has been associated with long-term exposure to prior forms of cell phone radiation.
As for the new 5G towers, there have been no studies at all to date on potential health impacts.
During our visit, we discussed the importance of a secure 5G wireless network and the need for this emerging technology to be a tool for freedom, progress, prosperity, not to do anything where it could be even conceived as a conduit for suppression and censorship.